Welcome back, guys. In this video we will start our overview on Matlab. So we start working on it. So I hope that you downloaded and you have it on your PC so that you practice with me. So let's start now by Matlab. Now basically you will have like this window where you have what is called current folder, command window, and workspace. Maybe you have the command history and maybe not. So you can add it and we will see how. Now you can have the same windows but in different order. So I want to ask you first, guys, to choose the default layout. So press on this layout under home here and choose default. Now you could have different versions but they are all the same. Once you click on default, you will see that this is the default one. You have a command window, you have a current folder where all your folders, if you have any Matlab folder, will show up here, and you have what is called workspace under it. Now, for me, I like to see the workspace here. So I will drag it and put it on my right. Now, if you want to see the command history, because you can use it basically, you should click again on layout, go to the command history and click on docked. Now you can see that this is the command history. It is shown up here, so you can press on it and drag it. So guys, this is what I like to see in Matlab. So I like to see the current folder at my left. So if I want to pick any of these folders, they are here at my left. I like to see the command window in the middle. I like to see the workspace, and you will see what is a workspace. And I like to see the command history in my right arm. Alright? So this is the first basics of Matlab. You should have the command window where you can here write your commands. So I will start by the first command that is a very trivial one, which is 1/2, for example. If I click enter, Matlab will give me an nth equal to 0.5000. And what is this? And what are these arrows here? And why I'm seeing nth here? And why I'm seeing this 1/2 here? In fact, guys, now I'm using Matlab as a calculator. What I did is to divide 1 by 2, where in my command window, close to these two arrows that signal that you can write here your command. So if you cannot see these two arrows, you cannot write any command. So here, Matlab has done the calculation and found that 1/2 is equal to 0.5000. Now, since I did not define the variable that I need to place in the answer of 1/2, Matlab will come up with a variable called nth by default. If you did not specify the variable name, Matlab will give you nth. Nth means answer. So the answer of this command or of this operation is equal to 0.5000. And then Matlab will place this nth in what is called the workspace, which means the workspace is where I can find all my variables. The first variable here is nth because it is by default the answer of any operation that doesn't have a variable. So this nth has a value of 0.500, and now in my command history I will see the command that I have written here. Why? Because in fact it is the history of my commands. So if yesterday I did some operations, I should see them here unless I select all my commands and clear them by clicking on delete. Now what if I want to define a variable a is equal to 1, and then I will click enter. what happens? If you define A is equal to 1, this is also an operation because MATLAB will understand that you are assigning what is right to the variable at the left. So this is the equal sign here. MATLAB will understand that you are assigning 1 to A. And then MATLAB will give you the answer by giving you A as equal to 1. In your workspace, you will find a variable called A because you have defined it. And this A has a value of 1. In your command history, you will find your command, which is here. Now I'm going to define B as 2, but with a semicolon after it. If I define B as 2 with a semicolon after it, and then I click Enter, I can see the difference now. Basically, the difference between the answer of this command and the answer of this command is that MATLAB did not print here B is equal to 2 as it did here in the previous command. So in the previous command, MATLAB has printed out A is equal to 1. In this command, nothing happens on the command window. However, B is still defined in the workspace. B is a variable that has the value of 2. Now, what you should know is that the only difference between A is equal to 1 without semicolon and A is equal to 1 with a semicolon is the printing. So here, if I remove the semicolon, B is equal to 2, MATLAB will only print this out before putting it in the workspace. This is the only difference. And that's why I advise you, if you don't want to see it in your command window, to put a semicolon after each command. So let's go back to my first command where I have 1 over 2. And here, guys, what I'm going to do is to divide A by B, which is also 1 over 2, but with the semicolon. What do you think will happen? In fact, guys, if I click Enter, I will have the same ends in the workspace, but I will not have this ends printed out in MATLAB or in the command window. So this is only the difference, guys. It will not be printed out. Now, guys, what I'm going to do is to clear my command window. If I want to clear all of these commands, I have to use CLC, which means clear command window. Now CLC, Enter, will clear all your command window. However, it will not clear your workspace and your command history. So your command history will stay unless you clean it up, and your workspace will stay. Let's now clear also, or before clearing the variables of your workspace, you should know that since they are in the workspace, even if their commands are cleared up from the command window, I can use them. So I'm gonna sum A and B with a semicolon, and I want you guys, before clicking Enter, to take a look on the workspace. A is 1, ends is 0.5, and B is 2. And then I'm gonna click Enter, and I want you to tell me what was the difference. So you can see, guys, here that ends now is equal to 3. So I don't have the previous ends of 0.5. Why? Because in fact, guys, ends will have the latest value in your command window. So what was the latest value? It is A plus B, which is 1 plus 2, that is equal to 3. So MATLAB will update the value of ends on your workspace. Now ends is no longer 0.5. Now ends is a 3, which is the new value given by this command. If I define C by A minus B, then MATLAB will not put the value of a minus b in ans. Ans will stay 3 because here I'm defining the variable c that is equal to a minus b. So the answer of a minus b is in c. MATLAB doesn't have to define ans that is equal to a minus b. So ans will stay 3 until MATLAB will use it. Like for example, if I say b over a, which is basically 2, without defining a variable that is equal to b over a, you can see, guys, if I click enter, that this ans, which was a 3, will be now 2. Now what if I need to clear all my variables from the workspace? I should only say clear all. Clear all means clear all your variables. So clear all will clear your workspace, and then if you're gonna clear your command window, you can say again CLC. If you clear all your variables in the workspace, you cannot use A. So if let's say I'm gonna say A plus B with a semicolon, MATLAB will give me an error telling me that there is no function of variable called A. And of course, there is no function of variable called B, but MATLAB will start from left to right, and then if there is an error, MATLAB will stop the operation or the execution. So MATLAB stopped here before reaching B, and MATLAB will tell me what was this error and what was this mistake. So guys, here I don't have A because I cleared up my workspace. So if I want to find A plus B again, I should define A and B. And then I can say A plus B. What do you think? Where I can see the number 3, which is the sum of A plus B, I can see it basically in ants in my workspace. So I cannot use A and B unless they are in the workspace. They are defined in the workspace. Now guys, if I'm gonna find A minus B, and I remembered that I have used this command before. So here guys, I have C is equal to A minus B in my command history. I can't see this command here because I cleared up my command window, but what I can do is to double click on this command and then from your command history, and then it will be executed again and C will be equal to minus 1. Now guys, I want you to use page up. Okay, so I want you to click on page up. If you click on page up, MATLAB will give you the previous commands. Okay, so now I'm reaching the very previous command of CLC clear all and before them. So this is the first command where A is equal to 1 without a semicolon. If you click enter, MATLAB will re-execute this command. So by using page up, you can go back in your commands that are presented in your command history without going to the command history and double clicking on it. So you have two options. Either you go to the command history and double click on the command that you need to be re-executed, or you can use page up. And in fact, if you skip one and then you want to go back, you can use page down. Alright, so please guys try it because this will allow you not to waste a lot of time and if the command was a huge equation. So guys, this is the first concept. The division is a bar, the multiplication is a star. Let's do the multiplication by defining D as A times B without a semicolon. So if I need to print D on my window, now D is equal to 2 and D is of course defined in my workspace here. So this is D. Okay, you should define a variable if you don't want to put it in ends. You cannot do any operation without defining. You cannot do any operation on variables that are not defined in the workspace. So this is the first part of MATLAB overview. In the next video, we will go more into the variables.